Leg day today.
Leg day, I got the tube. Derek Farnsworth made this for me. I know you're watching Derek because I know you're checking out, making sure I'm progressing. I'm going to see him. I think this week I'm going to see him.
Really?
I think once you leave, I'm going to head to San Diego and have him open me up. Hopefully by the end of the weekend I'll see him. Depends on his schedule. I know he's busy, but
yeah,
he'll fit me in for a couple hours. But he made me this,
nice,
so I can roll and open up my hip a little bit. You know, on that bad leg. I got one good leg and one bad leg. One has more striations than the other. People always ask me why. I know I'm like a broken record, but you know, I wore a cast on my leg. At 16, I broke my patella in a football injury. So when they casted me, they cast it from my ankle to my upper thigh.
Wow.
And you know, back then that was 1990.
Wow.
So back then, you know, I'm sure they would do it much differently now. They probably would put me in a brace instead of a cast. When I got that cast off, my leg was so small.
Really?
It was crazy. Like I was wearing jeans and to school, and it was like one leg was like filling out the jeans because I had big legs in high school even.
Yeah.
And then and then the other leg was like
all loose.
Yeah. So.
Oh. How long did it take you to for the legs?
6 weeks I wore a cast, and then it came off. It's been good, but my knee is still a little shaky, but it never really affected. I mean, you always see it, obviously, since I started training. Yeah, so we're talking with the cast, and came in, and you know, I had to wear it for 6 weeks, and you know, my knee got set wrong. Because I noticed, like, when I flex my knees turned outward. So now my leg developed, like, trying to develop my leg, it's turning outward, so the sweep isn't as big. And, you know, obviously, I didn't know that until later into my bodybuilding career. You know, I mean, what are they going to do at that point? So, you know, I've had to deal with, you know, doing a lot of one-leg stuff, which I'm sure some of you guys out there, you deal with, you know. A lot of people have one leg smaller than the other anyway, or one arm smaller or whatever. And I always tell everyone the isolateral movements are always the best. But it took about a month for my leg to get back to size after I wore that cast, you know, once I started eating the food and all that stuff in there. But it was never the same, obviously. You know, the pictures, if you go back to even the beginning, you know, that leg was never, had the striations and whatever. So now, you know, Derek made me this roller, which I try to roll out. A lot of the guys use foam rollers. This one is actually, you know, an actual piping. So I don't think it's fiberglass, but it's something, you know, plastic pipe. And I'm rolling out my hamstring glute tie-in because it seems like I get a little shake in there when I start going heavy. And I'm going to loosen this up and then do some presses.
Someone posted some pictures of you actually just winning the nationals, and you could definitely tell in the pictures on the boards, you know, the leg thing you were talking about. Why do you think people kind of picked up on that later on in your career and not at the beginning?
Well, you know, because the internet came about.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking at magazines. That's how we followed, you know, bodybuilding was on magazines, not on the net.
Right.
And of course, you stare at pictures over and over and over. You overexpose yourself when you've been in the business for 15 years. You're going to see all that stuff. Yeah. People sit there and stare at pictures, but what people don't realize is transitional on stage. People say, well, how can that guy, you know, how do they not judge on that or whatever? But when you're standing there in front of the judges, it's not that apparent. They can't sit there looking down a line of 3 to 5 guys and say, you know, we hit a front double bicep, for example. And they talked about this with, like, Dorian Yates with his torn bicep before. You know, they look at the whole package, and when you hit the shot, you're looking down a line of guys, the judges.
Yeah, everybody.
It's not like they hold the shot. They hold the shot for maybe 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So you're looking at the line. You're not looking, okay, is the guy's right bicep? It's only when the pictures are apparent. And now with the internet, of course, stuff goes up immediately. So people like, oh, you know, just like my bicep in 11. You know, people like, oh, Jay's bicep, and you know, it's black and blue and whatever. You know, people were talking about it because it hit the internet right away.
That makes sense.
So, you know, that's, people have to take that into account. You know, it's easy for those internet judges, you know, the guys watching at home. That's why I always say, you know, people talk about, well, this guy, you know what, pay to go to a show and then make those judgments. How many times have you sat in the audience yourself?
It's hard to take pictures even.
I remember you coming back to the booth at the Arnold being like, oh my God, this guy looks unbelievable. Because you're sitting 3 rows back from someone else, and then someone else comes over and like, I don't know what Dave's talking about, that he didn't look that great.
Yeah.
It's so judgmental about how you sit and whatever, and the judges are in that exact spot, so they're going to choose what they see from their angle.
Yeah.
I mean, after 10 rows back, all the guys look amazing.
Yeah.
You know, everyone should. The guy 10th place will look like the winner if he's rounder.
Right.
It's just that sharp condition you only see, you know, so many rows from the stage.
Right.
So.
And most people look at the jumbotron anyway at shows.
Yeah, of course. And to be honest, like we sit backstage and I look at the guys, I'm like, holy, every guy looks crazy.
Yeah.
You know, you can never tell what a guy looks like. And I look backstage at some of the guys, I'm like, that guy's not even in shape. And then you get out there and everyone's like, oh, he's in like the top 3. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're talking about that before. That's true.
So it's hard to really judge a show, and you know, to get back what I was talking about, like, you know, everyone has you know, some indifferences, but you know, I go to therapy. You know, I'm not one to hide it much. You guys see what I'm doing. You know, this is about me coming back, not only from, you know, my bicep injury, which, you know, is never going to be 100% again. You know, there's still some scarring there. It's not affected the size or, you know, the contraction or whatever, but, you know, if I really flex under the right light, you could see where it was torn. I mean, it's not gapped anymore. I mean, fixed the gap, but shit, I tore the muscle belly itself. How is it going to be perfect? I mean, and they say that about Victor's thigh. They say it about Branch's thigh.
An injury is an injury.
You know, it's about the guy coming back and trying to, you know, compete again. And obviously, I didn't get a fair shake on that stage. I didn't have the body to be able to win because I was injured. I competed with a torn bicep. So
you do. As best you can.
We're going to do some legs today, guys, so
all right.
Enjoy it.